Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're okay. I hope you have been doing well. Um, I hope that you have been well, and I hope that you have finished your homework. Remember that you were supposed to write the concept in print, the concept in cursive, with a pen, and the sentences in print with a pencil. So I always confuse them. The concept in cursive with a pen and the sentences in print with a pencil. Yeah, that's right. And you send them to me in the as a private message. I know that some of you have finished, but you were sending the homeworks to me as you posted them on the wall. That's not where I want them. That's not what I assigned. So I'm expecting you to do the things as I asked for them. Otherwise, you won't be able to succeed with all the points that you have to have. I can see who's been logging into the platform and who hasn't. You're the only grade that hasn't. Said hi kind of to the activities that we've been making. You're the only grade that didn't go to the live presentation that I did answering questions and answers, and you are the grade that has the less amount of visits to the platform. That tells a lot from you, a lack of interest. So I hope that you don't have a lot of questions later, because I have opened the channels for you to answer to ask the questions and the opportunity to make, and you just refuse to do it. So I'm here for. There's one girl that is always asking, what should I do? Is this okay? Is this all right? And stuff. And she's the only one. One person that is always like, Mister, is this okay? I sent it wrong, but I sent it again. Mister, I don't understand. One girl. Thank you, Bude. Okay. Let's start the story. Page 77, Lighting Up a World, written by Angela Maria Padron and photo selection by Monica Delgado de Patruco. I would advise you to have your notebook on hand because I'm going to give you a couple questions that you have to answer. Remember that the question should be written with a pen in cursive and the answer with a pencil in print. Okay, let's start. Imagine living in a time when there were no electric lights. There would be no street lights along the road. You would have to rely on the moonlight to guide you at night. There would be no reading or table lamps to plug in. You would have to do your homework next to a candle or an oil lamp. This is the way people live up to the 1800s. Well, that's difficult. Several inventors attempted to create a light bulb. They tried to make the bulb work with electricity so that it would stay lit for a long time. So people were trying to reflect the light of a light bulb, and they were trying to contain the electricity. In the past, light bulbs have different shapes. They were done by different kinds of materials. I think that it was something like this. And all of them had internal components and different kind of things that would lead them inside. In 1858, a German watchmaker named Heinrich Govel used a filament made of carbon from bamboo. So he took the bamboo plant and he made a filament. He made a small stick, something very thin, to put it inside. First, obviously, they tried different kinds of shapes with the filament. I think that this is the actual one that we use now, but they tried in this kind of, like, it looks like, I don't know, like a cucumber, and like kind of like a donut-ish shape. They tried different. Actually, this looks like a popsicle. Okay. He placed it in a glass container to create an incandescent electric light bulb, like this. In 1879, Thomas Alva Edison and Joseph Wilson Swan perfected the light bulb. They used a filament made of carbon taken from cotton. It burned for 13 and a half hours. A year later, Edison improved the bamboo filament. He made one that burned about 1,200 hours. Wow! So after the bamboo experiment, that it was the first, they tried a second experiment and they used cotton. Cotton is the plant that you make your t-shirts with. All the fabrics in the world are made with cotton. So they use cotton as a material for them to be able to make a filament that it looked like the one that they used the bamboo with, but in this case it lit for 13 and a half hours. But later when Alva Edison improved his bamboo filament, it lasted for 1,200 hours. In 1906, the General Electric Company, that still exists, along with William Coolidge, invented the tungsten filament. The filament made of metal, called tungsten, burned brighter and longer than the filaments in other bulbs. Tungsten filaments are the types found in incandescent light bulbs today. So now all these filaments that we see inside the light bulbs are made with tungsten, that is a kind of metal that people, maybe they didn't discover it. According to what I understand, all the elements in the periodic table have the name of the person that discovered them. Most of them, because I don't think that anybody is called iron. Maybe, I don't know. So when they use tungsten to change the performance on the light bulbs, they shone brighter because the metallic filament was better to conduct the electricity that was being sent through it. You may be asking, are there tiny light bulbs inside a cell phone to make the screen lit up? What makes the power light on a stove or remote control shine? The light for this does not come from incandescent light bulbs, but from a different type of light source, LEDs, LED. So these type of light bulbs were the beginning of how electricity worked, but later with technology they have changed for two reasons. One, because it was a technology that needed improvement, but two, because it was very expensive, all the amount of electricity that it pulled. For an example, the one that I have is an incandescent light bulb. It's super hot. It produces a lot of heat, and it has the tungsten filament. So it takes more energy, and because of that I have to pay more money in my electric bill. But with these new LED lights, the technology is different, so it's cheaper for people to have them like that. Page 78. Light emitting diodes. That is the meaning of LED. Light emitting diodes. If you have any question on how to write it, it's written over there. In 1962, Nick Holoniak, a researcher at the General Electric Company, invented the light emitting diode, or LED. In 1962, wow. They took a long time. Look what the jump they took. They went from 1906 till 1962. So 50 something years. A lot of time, more than 50 years to change the technology from an incandescent light bulb to a LED light. His invention is one of the most important in the world of electronics. LEDs are specially made to release a large amount of light outward to the outside. They are tiny light bulbs that have plastic coverings. The light emitted bounces off the sides of the plastic. It then travels to the rounded end of the covering and shines outward in a particular direction. Holoniak's first LED emitted only red light. Later, LEDs were developed to emit blue and green light. Different combinations of these three colors create other colors of light, including white light. So, can you imagine from the mix of yellow, red, and blue, you can make white? Who would have known? So he made this small device. These things are super little. I mean, I don't know if you've seen them, but I don't think that I have anything as small as that. Okay, a pencil. So these things are small as the purple part and maybe smaller. They're really little, but it's the togetherness of them, all of them as a group, that produce a bright light. Now, LED lights are very popular now. In downtown El Centro or in the market or in the store sometimes, they sell those lamps that you can put on the sun, charge on the sun, or you can put like the thick kind of batteries. And the light is very white. LED lights produce a different kind of shine because in the past, the incandescent lights produce a yellowy, this kind of light that is shining on me, not a really white light. I'm gonna show you, let me see. 9, 10. Yeah, I'm gonna show you later because I have a lamp that is used for a fish tank that my friend Karen gave it to me, and it's super bright. It's super white. It's way different than a yellow light. Um, Let's continue. 78. Modern incandescent bulbs are cost effective. However, compared to LEDs, they are not very efficient. The filament of an incandescent bulb is encased inside a glass covering. As the filament burns, the glass gradually becomes discolored. Then, when the filament burns out, the light bulb no longer works. That used to happen with the old light bulbs. I don't know if you have the chance to meet them, but before this, saving electricity light bulbs that they are white and they're shiny, we used to have the regular ones like this, and they were white. And if they got too hot, they would blow up. And they had a powder inside, a white powder that it would try to make it shine white, but they were still kind of yellow. In addition, only a small percentage of the energy in a light bulb makes the actual light we see. The majority of the energy is lost as heat, and this wastes electricity. As I was telling you, this is an example of them. As I was telling you, they were very hot. I mean, if you try to change them, they were super hot, and you could burn your hands. And it blew up because the temperature that it had risen, it would be too high. Okay, so before we continue, um, the first question that you will write for your research will be, according to what I understand, there's a scandal in who discovered the electric light bulb. So I want you to tell me if it was for real Thomas Alva Edison, or if someone before him discovered something like that. And he says that Henry Goble discovered a filament and he put it on a glass. But then it says that Thomas Alva Edison and Joseph they perfected the light bulb. So I want you to clarify in me, and this is going to be the question, describe the very origin of the light bulb. Where did it really start? You can go Google and you can find, and you have to relate to the names and follow the story. So you can tell me, no, mister, or yes, mister. At the beginning it was one, and then later, but he only invented this part, and then Pedro invented this part, and then Lucio invented this part. So this is the correct order of the story, because something that it was very common in this era is that people stolen other people's inventions, and obviously that would make them very angry. So that will be the first. Describe the very story or the real story of the discovery of the light bulb or the invention of the light bulb, whatever you want to write it. Okay, and then let's continue. Wait, we're going to finish 79 and I'll give you the next one. 79. However, LEDs are very sensitive to heat. The light output and lifetime of the bulb can be reduced greatly if it's exposed to excessive amounts of heat. LEDs also cost more than conventional bulbs in the long run. Though the durability and efficiency of LEDs can save people much more money than incandescent bulbs can. So it's more expensive to buy a light bulb that is LED because the materials that are used to make them are more expensive, but in the long run, they're gonna last longer. LEDs can be found in all kinds of places. Signs are one type of device that can use LEDs. The LED in the signs are very small and are grouped together for stronger illumination. Restaurants and hotels often have their names in LED lights outside their buildings. Shopping malls, stadiums, and banks are other places that advertise their locations with LED lights. With LED signs, sorry. The LED lights shine brightly so people can see them from far away. The lights also can last for a long time. The owner of these businesses do not have to worry about changing bulbs for years because they last for a long time. In the past, I remember that in movie theaters used to have the entrance kind of like this, and then you would buy your ticket over here, and people would they would enter on a door kind of like in here. Yeah, and they would buy the ticket over here. But in the past, people would decorate their the I don't know, marquee, I think that is the name. the place where you would write the name of the movie with a lot of light bulbs. And these light bulbs were hot because people wanted to call other people's attention with light bulbs like this. All of them together were very shiny, so people would be able to see the name of the movie in the night. But because they were lit for so long, they would blow up or the filament would burn. So they would have to constantly change them, and that made the owners be angry because that would be a hassle for them. Now, with the LED light technology, they can place their ads and their signs, and there's no problem because they're gonna last for a long time. Yeah. Still 79. LEDs can be found in all kinds of places. Signs are one of type of device that can use LEDs. The LEDs in the signs are very small and grouped together for stronger illumination. I already read that right. The restaurants, yeah, I already read that. And hotels often have their names in LED signs on the outside of their buildings. Shopping malls, stadiums, and banks, and other places that advertise their location with LED signs. The LED lights shine brightly so people can see them from far away. The lights also can last for a long time. The owners of these businesses do not have to worry about changing bulbs for years, unlike these people. In New York City, there are signs everywhere that use LED lights. Marquee sign advertise, that's a marquee. I knew the word. Marquee signs advertise plays or movies on the outside of theaters. A very famous LED sign is New York City Times Square, where the ball drops every New Year's Eve. I told you that you could research that. It's really beautiful. There's a building, and on top of that building, there's like a humongous ball, and people is like, yeah, it's so pretty, I want to go. And people gather in there, and everybody wants to see it because slowly, sorry, goes down, and when it does, it shines super bright so everybody can celebrate the new year. Super pretty. You can find videos on it. You can write, I don't know, New York City, New Year's Eve, or ball drop, or something like that. On this sign, information runs across a moving screen that is about 9,000 square feet in size. So they have a screen in there. It has appeared in movies. People can see things in there. On this sign, information runs across a moving screen that is about 9,000 square feet in size. On a large LED sign like this one, clusters of LEDs are used to make one pixel. These pixels light up to form the letters and numbers that are seen on the screen. This sign in New York is made of tiles that are each about 1 square foot in size. Each tile contains 256 pixels with more than 2,000 LEDs on the front side. The back of the tile has the necessary electronic components to light all the LEDs on the tile. So as you can see, as I was explaining, because you would say, oh no, mister, that screen that is showing the beautiful rabbit or the signs of the movies, it's a TV screen. It's not. It's a LED screen. What happens is that they have clusters. Clusters are grouped together, little groups of LED lights, all of them together in communion as amazing friends. My markers are so sad. Okay, better. So this square is a tile, and this tile is made out of clusters. These clusters include a lot of pixels, and the pixels, remember the movie Pixel? There's a movie called Pixels. There are little squares that are made of a lot of LED lights. So they change their shape constantly, and all of this is made of a lot of these tiles. So they constantly change the shape of the lights, so they show some figures, some images. But this is not the TV screen. This is the union of tiles made with clusters of pixels made with thousands of pixels. And that will be your last question. Your last question will be to explain how the invention of LED lights have changed the world, and where are the most famous uses that people gives it. This at least is gonna take you one page. The other one, I think that it would take you no, I think that the other one will take you only like half a page, less than half a page. Probably like 10 or 11 lines, the first one about the light bulbs. But the other one is going to take you at least a page because you have to explain how pixels, how LEDs have changed the world. Well, you have to explain what is a LED, who invented the LED, how the LED is used, how the LED has changed the use of light bulbs that they were incandescent into something easier and cheaper. And one of the most famous uses is the New York City ball drop screen in New York City that you can research, and how this works in a technology of tiles that are compounded by clusters that are made of pixels that have a lot of LEDs inside. So this will take you a page. The explanation is over here. If you write everything as it's written in here, you will have not the same point because you're just copying, you're not analyzing and writing your own answers. And if you just Google the answer and just copy paste whatever you find in the internet, you will not have the same points. The purpose of this class is for you to learn how to make your ideas. Making mistakes is okay. That's the only way that you can achieve success, but I need you to try. So you can start making that. Remember 10 lines for the first question, and for the second one, at least a page. So I hope that you're okay. I hope that this is very clear and you're working as we always work in the notebook in your house. And don't post anything until I tell you. Okay, see you tomorrow, guys.